There is something on its way back to you, not as a rumor, not as a faint hope, as a real and approaching return. Something that was taken from you before you were ready to release it, or something that you let go of because the timing was wrong and the conditions were not yet what they needed to be, or something that faded from your life in a way that felt like an ending but was actually more like an intermission. Whatever it is on its way back. And as an Aries, as the bold, deeply feeling, fiercely alive soul that you are, you have probably felt its approach without being able to name it. That is why you are here. Because somewhere in your chest, in the quiet space between one heartbeat and the next, something has been stirring. Something has been saying, this is not over. Whatever you thought was finished, whatever you had filed away under the heading of what used to be, some of it is still alive, and some of it is moving back toward you with a purpose and a rightness that the universe does not send without meaning. The signs have already been showing themselves. You may not have been calling them signs. You may have called them memories or odd moments or strange feelings you could not quite explain. But they are signs. They are the way what is returning announces itself before it arrives. Today we are going to look at 10 of them one by one. If even a few of them feel familiar, pay very close attention to what follows, because something extraordinary may be closer than you think. Sign 1. You have been thinking about the past more than usual. Your mind has been traveling backward lately. Memories have been arriving unbidden, unprompted, not because you are trying to live in the past, but because the past is reaching forward. You find yourself revisiting things that happened years ago, conversations that played out long before today, choices that once felt permanent that your mind now keeps turning over and examining from different angles. For an Aries, this kind of backward thinking is unusual. You are built for forward motion. Your natural orientation is toward the horizon, toward the next challenge, the next beginning, the next bold move. Looking back is not typically where your fire goes. So when you find yourself dwelling in memory more than usual, not with regret, not with bitterness, but with a particular quality of attention, as if your mind is searching for something, it is worth paying attention to why. The past is not simply nostalgia when it arrives this insistently. It is information. It is a signal. The memories that keep returning to you carry something you need right now, something relevant to what is approaching. Think about the memories that have been visiting you most often. Is there a person who keeps appearing in them? A place or a feeling or a moment in time when something important happened? A version of yourself that you miss, or a version of a relationship or a situation that felt more alive than it does now? These memories are the fingerprints of what is returning. They are showing you, through the images and feelings of the past, the shape of what is on its way back. Your deeper mind already knows what is coming before your conscious mind does. And it is using memory as the language to tell you. Listen to what the memories are saying. Not just what happened, but how you felt. Not just who was there, but what it meant. Because what those memories mean is directly connected to what the universe is preparing to return to your life. As a bold and action-oriented Aries, your tendency may be to dismiss this backward-looking as distraction. But this particular backward-looking is not distraction. It is preparation. The past is not pulling you away from the future. It is showing you what is about to become part of it again. Sign 2. A feeling of incompleteness that will not go away. There is something unfinished in you. You can feel it. Not always loudly, not always in a way that interrupts your day. But it is there, a low, persistent sense that something was left incomplete that is still asking to be finished. It is not quite sadness. It is not quite regret. It is more like a task left undone, a sentence that stopped before its end, a story whose final chapter was never written. For an Aries, incompleteness is particularly hard to sit with. You are a finisher by nature. You start things with enormous energy and you see them through with determination. When something ends before it should, before its natural conclusion has been reached, it leaves a particular kind of mark on a soul like yours. The feeling of incompleteness you are carrying right now is that mark. And the reason it will not go away is because it should not go away, not yet. Not because you are meant to suffer it indefinitely, but because it is pointing to something that is genuinely not yet finished. Something that has more story in it. Something that ended too soon and that the universe is now preparing to continue. This is one of the most important signs to honor, because it is easy to mistake the feeling of incompleteness for ordinary dissatisfaction and try to fill it with something new, something unrelated, something that merely distracts from the real gap. But the feeling is specific. If you sit with it quietly and ask it what it is actually about, it will tell you. It will point you toward the relationship, the goal, the creative work, the healing, the possibility that still has unfinished business with your life. And what is returning to you soon is connected to that unfinished business. It is coming back not to reopen a wound but to offer a genuine conclusion, one that leaves you whole rather than wondering what might have been. Sign 3. Dreams carrying messages from your past. Your sleeping mind has been busy. The dreams have been different lately. More vivid, more structured, more emotionally charged. And the content is not random. Your dreams have been visiting places from your past, bringing people from earlier chapters of your life into new scenarios, carrying you back through experiences that still carry feeling, even in the waking hours after. Dreams, when they carry this particular quality, are one of the most direct ways that the deeper self communicates. Your sleeping mind does not have access to logic or rationality or the defenses that keep you from seeing what you are not yet ready to see while you are awake. And so it speaks in images and feelings and symbolic scenes that carry a meaning, even when the content seems strange or disconnected. The dreams you have been having about your past are not replays. They are previews. They are showing you the emotional territory that is about to become relevant again. The feelings, the dynamics, the themes from your earlier life that are preparing to re-enter your present experience in a new form. Pay attention to what you feel in these dreams. Not just what happens, but what you feel. The emotion is the message. If a dream leaves you with a feeling of longing, that longing is pointing toward something that is genuinely still alive in you. If a dream leaves you with a sense of resolution or peace, that peace is showing you that what is returning is safe to receive. If a dream leaves you with a feeling of urgency, that urgency is telling you to stay awake to what is coming, to not sleep through the arrival of what is on its way back. As an Aries, you may not naturally pay close attention to your dreams. You prefer the waking world where you can act. But right now, the dreams are carrying some of your most valuable guidance. Write them down when you wake. Sit with the feelings they leave you with before you rush into your day. The messages being delivered in your sleep right now are some of the most important ones you will receive in this entire period. Sign 4. A connection is reaching out, even if only in your thoughts. There is someone on your mind. Perhaps you try not to think about them, or perhaps you do not even fully realize how often they occupy your thoughts. But they are there, present in a way that goes beyond ordinary memory. You think of them at unexpected moments. Their name surfaces in conversations. You find yourself wondering about them, how they are, what they are doing, whether they ever think of you as well. Or perhaps there is no specific person, but a feeling of a connection, a sense of someone reaching toward you that you cannot quite locate or identify, but that is present nonetheless. This sign is significant. As an Aries, you feel connections intensely. When you care about someone, that caring does not disappear just because physical or circumstantial distance grows between you. It lives in you quietly, tended by the fire that never fully lets go of what truly mattered. The person or connection that is reaching out to you right now, even if only in the space of your thoughts, is on their side of the distance thinking of you as well. Thoughts between people who have genuinely mattered to each other are not one-directional. They travel. They create a current between two people that can be felt even when no message has been sent, even when no contact has been made. What you are feeling as a thought about someone else is the other half of a thought being directed at you. Something is working to restore this connection. Whether it will take the form of an actual reconnection, a resolved feeling, or a returned memory of what this connection gave you, something is moving. The Aries heart knows what it has genuinely loved and what has genuinely loved it back. And what is returning to you carries the fingerprints of that real love, that genuine connection, that thing that was important enough to come back. Sign 5. You keep finding yourself near things, places, or topics connected to what is returning. It is happening in small ways, the kinds of things that are easy to dismiss as coincidence if you are not paying attention. You overhear a conversation about something that feels directly relevant to what has been on your mind. You come across a book, an article, a piece of music that connects exactly to something from your past that has been occupying your thoughts. You find yourself in a physical place that reminds you sharply of a time, a person, or an experience that belongs to what is returning. These are not coincidences. These are the universe arranging the set. Before a return happens, the energy of what is coming back begins to appear in the world around you in small, recognizable forms. It is as if the frequency of what is approaching is being broadcast ahead of its arrival, and you keep accidentally tuning into it, finding yourself in its wavelength, encountering its echoes, bumping into its reflections everywhere you go. This is one of the more playful signs, but do not let its lightness fool you into thinking it is less significant. The universe often speaks through exactly this kind of gentle, repeated appearance. The song that keeps finding you, the topic that keeps surfacing, the symbol that appears in 3 different places in 3 different days. Each encounter is a confirmation. Each coincidence is a message that says, yes, this is real. Yes, this is coming. Yes, you are paying attention to the right thing. Keep noticing. The pattern itself is part of the communication. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Sign 6. Doors you thought were locked are showing cracks of light. Something that seemed completely closed is beginning to show signs of movement. An opportunity you had written off, a relationship you had assumed was permanently over, a path you believed was sealed. You are noticing cracks. Not wide open doors, not dramatic reversals, but something more subtle and more telling than that. Small signs that what was shut is not as permanently shut as it seemed. A response where there had been silence. A development that shifts the landscape of something you had given up on. A feeling when you think about a certain situation that has shifted from dead weight to something lighter. As if the heaviness of closedness is beginning to lift. For an Aries, the impulse when you see a crack of light under a closed door is to throw the full force of your body against it and push it open by sheer will. That instinct, that powerful charge of yours, is one of your greatest assets. But in this particular moment, with what is returning being as meaningful as it is, the right response to those cracks of light is not force. It is attention. It is patience that does not feel passive but that holds a ready alertness, like a fire that has been carefully banked and is ready to surge the moment it is given what it needs. Watch the cracks. Let the light grow without forcing it. Because what is coming back through that door has its own timing, and the Aries who respects that timing, who stays ready without forcing, will be standing in exactly the right place when the door finally opens on its own. And it will. The cracks of light are proof of that. They are not false hope. They are the first visible evidence of what has already been set in motion. Sign 7. Your heart feels ready for something it once rejected. Something inside you has changed. There was a time not so long ago when you would have said no to something, a person, a possibility, a direction, an idea, and meant it. Not out of fear necessarily, but because it truly did not fit where you were then. The conditions were not right. The version of you that existed at that moment could not hold what was being offered. But now something has shifted. The resistance is gone. Or if not entirely gone, it has softened into something that feels less like no and more like not yet. And even that is loosening into something close to yes. When a return is approaching, the heart prepares to receive it. This preparation is not always obvious. It happens quietly, in the course of growth and healing, and the subtle daily work of becoming more of who you truly are. And then one day you notice that something you would have turned away from before now feels possible. Or even more than possible, it feels right. As an Aries, your heart is one of your most powerful instruments. You do not love halfway or commit halfway or want anything halfway. When your heart is fully open to something, you come to it with everything you have. The readiness you are feeling now for something you once might have turned away is the readiness of a more complete version of yourself, one that has grown into the capacity to receive what is returning. Do not second-guess this readiness or talk yourself out of it by reminding yourself of why you rejected it before. You are not the same person who rejected it, and you are naturally oriented toward action and the future, but the accumulated wisdom of your experience is a resource that can make your forward motion more precise, more powerful, and more aligned with what truly matters to you. The memories arriving right now are giving you that resource. They are showing you what to watch for, what you missed the first time, what you would do differently if given another chance. They are showing you the moments when something important was happening that you may not have recognized as important at the time. And they are showing you these things because you are about to be given another chance, not necessarily to relive the past, but to apply its lessons to what is coming back with fresh eyes and a wiser heart. Let the memories come. Sit with them. Ask them what they are trying to tell you, and then carry that understanding forward into what is arriving, as an Aries who has learned from the fire rather than simply been burned by it. Sign 9. A healing you did not finish is ready to be completed. There is something that was hurt inside you that did not fully heal. You went far with the healing, perhaps farther than most people around you even knew, because Aries carries its wounds privately and moves through them with a determination that others rarely witness. But somewhere in the process you stopped. Maybe it became too painful. Maybe life moved too fast. Maybe you told yourself it was healed because the bleeding had slowed, even if the wound had not truly closed. And you kept going because that is what you do. You kept moving forward, kept building, kept being the brave and unstoppable soul you have always been. But the healing was not finished. And because it was not finished, it has been showing up in quiet ways, in the way you respond to certain triggers, in the places where your energy collapses without warning, in the things you shy away from without fully understanding why. What is returning to your life soon carries within it the possibility of completing that healing. This is not about reopening a wound. It is about giving the wound the final tending it needs so that what grows in its place is strong and whole and free. This is perhaps the most profound of all the signs, because it points not just to something returning from the outside but to something returning inside you. A wholeness that was interrupted, a version of yourself that was put on hold while the healing was still incomplete. You are ready now. The return that is coming brings with it the conditions, the people, the moments of grace that will allow this healing to finally finish its work. And when it does, you will feel it, not as a dramatic revelation but as a quiet, deep settling, a sense of something finally, fully being at peace. Sign 10. The timing feels right in a way you cannot explain but cannot ignore. This is the sign that lives beneath all the others, the one that holds all the other 9 signs together in a single undeniable feeling. The timing feels right. You cannot point to specific evidence. You cannot construct a logical argument for it. You cannot show anyone else the precise reason for this certainty. But it is there, and it is strong, and it will not be argued away. As an Aries, you have always had a relationship with timing that runs deeper than logic. You sense when to act and when to wait. You feel the rightness of a moment in your bones before your mind can explain it. It is one of the most powerful aspects of your fire. Not just the heat and the light, but the knowing of when to burn. Right now, that knowing is telling you something. It is telling you that the timing is right. That what has been on its way back to you is close enough now that you can feel its approach in the quality of the present moment. That the alignment of circumstances, of your own readiness, of the energy of what is returning, has reached the point where what was impossible before is now genuinely possible. Do not ignore this feeling because you cannot explain it. The things that cannot be fully explained are sometimes the things that matter most. The feeling of rightness that you are carrying, that certainty that makes no logical case but refuses to be dismissed, is one of the most trustworthy signals you have. Trust it. Stay open. Let what is returning come back in its own form, in its own timing, which is now. Because it is here. It is very, very close. And you, standing in the full power of your Aries fire with an open and ready heart, are prepared to receive it in a way you never have been before. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal, and you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. What is returning to you is real, whatever form it takes. Whether it is a person, a connection, a version of yourself, a healed wound, a reopened possibility, or a feeling of wholeness that you thought was gone, it is real and it is earned. You have done the work that makes a return like this possible. Not perfectly, because no one does anything perfectly, but consistently, with the fire and the courage and the willingness to keep going that define you as an Aries. Every memory that has been visiting you, every feeling of incompleteness that has sat quietly at the edge of your awareness, every dream that has brought the past into vivid nighttime color, every moment of standing near something that echoed what has been missing, all of it has been part of the preparation. And now the preparation is nearly complete. The universe does not return things to people who are not ready to receive them with wisdom. It does not orchestrate reunions and completions and healings without preparing both sides for what the meeting will require. You have been prepared. Perhaps you did not always feel prepared. Perhaps there were days when you felt anything but ready, when the fire felt low and the way forward seemed unclear. But preparation is rarely comfortable. It is usually quiet and sometimes painful and almost always happening beneath the surface where you cannot quite see it. And yet it happens. It has been happening for you. The 10 signs in this message are proof of it. They are not random. They are the fingerprints of something that has been in motion for longer than you may realize, something that has always been meant to come back, and that is now arriving. Stay open. Stay present. Stay patient in the way that an Aries can be patient when they know that what they are waiting for is worth it. Because this, whatever is returning to you, is worth it. And you are ready.